Guess who's here?
Well, don't keep us waiting.
All right, you guys ready? I don't need to. There's so many
fans tonight, man. Come on with it.
Yeah, I pre-warned her that we were gonna fangirl, so just go.
I'm gonna be cool because she don't know us. We better be cool, man.
No, it's all good. All right, so listen. let's do this.
Want to get into it, man? You know.
Yeah.
Want to get into it, man? You know.
Yeah. Move it.
Groove it.
Like a Lisa Coleman.
They say, let me hold on. He's ready. Why Mr. McCabland's ready.
Come on, man.
They say that behind every great man is a great woman.
Well,
and in Prince's case, he had many mighty women behind him.
Yes, sir.
And of great importance was our guest tonight as a member of Prince's band during the Dirty Mind era, and then as a member of Prince and the Revolution, helping Prince navigate the most successful decade of his career, not just as a keyboardist, but I'll say it, and you've heard me say it on the show many times before, that her and Wendy were a significant part of his writing team with her partner, Wendy Melvoin. And after the disbanding of the Revolution, Wendy and Lisa would continue to display their musical prowess as the Wendy and Lisa duo, releasing 5 incredible albums. Last year, she released her first beautiful solo album, Collage. Fantastic, by the way. If you haven't heard it, you need to listen. It's beautiful.
I'll be listening tonight after this podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the one, the only, Miss Lisa Coleman.
My goodness, absolutely.
Hi, you guys.
Hi.
Oh my goodness gracious. She is here in the flesh.
Do I need to wear headphones?
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
No, then no.
Okay.
These are just for style.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we just got to make sure there's no feedback and whatnot. But you got a lot
right
of
to me. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. Yeah, lots of folks giving love. Lots of people showed up. Let me just say, I want to get it right into it because I know that our time is limited. I understand you're in the studio right now and you kind of broke free for us. Can I ask what you're doing right now in the studio?
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's pretty exciting. Wendy and I have been working with Annie Lennox, and we're, that's the project right now. And we're just starting to get to the mixing stage and do all that fun stuff. So, I don't know when it'll be out or anything like that. I mean, we started the project just for fun. We met at a Joni Mitchell thing in at the Gorge in Washington, and we just hit it off and decided to play around in the studio. And we weren't thinking of making a record or anything. We were just having fun. But here we are. We have a whole record, and we decided it should be heard. So I'll play it right now.
All right.
I've been waiting. I've had bated breath over that project since I heard about it. I think my imagination is going places. I mean, I don't know what you guys are actually doing, but I'm expecting something really great.
Well, thank you. I hope it lives up to it. It's as you might expect, it's kind of a mixture of things. We have the sad songs, and then we have the dancey songs, and it's, I don't know. It's good.
So who's doing this has been, obviously for a Wendy and Lisa album, the last thing you guys released was 2008, I guess it was, White Flags and Winter Chimneys. And is it primarily writing with you two? Are you doing the writing, or everybody is kind of collectively pitching in for this project? Or
Yeah, it's the three of us. Like Annie even, will get on a keyboard and play, and
Okay.
it's like we're all doing everything and
Yeah.
just having fun, and it just turned out so good, I think, because we were just having fun. It just has a good positive energy, and you'll see.
Oh, I cannot wait. Is there a release date that they have set or they've discussed? Or?
No.
She said she didn't have one yet.
Oh, I see. I missed that. Sorry. I'm still in the fangirl mode. My apologies.
No, I'm in business mode because she's not going to be here forever. So
I understand. Yeah. Yes, I understand. Listen, there are so many things that I did not know about you, and Michael and I have said this many, many times in the show that I would love to be able to get, Wendy and Lisa or one of the because I feel like you guys were such an integral part of the music that we know and love from Prince, and you had so much involvement in the creative process of all of that. And, most of the time you did not get your credits. Most of the time you did not get your credits, and it was not, even though it was well overdue. So I guess, my first question is that, is there another Wendy and Lisa project that you guys are thinking about in the future, potentially?
I'm always thinking that.
Nice.
So yeah, we've had a couple of times over the years where we start writing and we'll do a couple tracks, and then like a scoring gig will come up or something, and then we get onto that, and then we haven't had like the momentum for just the two of us to actually make a whole album. So it's been a little frustrating, but it's also been rewarding because we've been working and just doing other things. So but yeah, I mean, hopefully, yeah, we'll always make music together.
Well, and I really would love to know how it actually started as far as your family is concerned, because I did kind of dig into, some of the family history and whatnot, and found pictures of your mother, Mary Lou Inda Saletti. Am I pronouncing her name correctly?
Yeah,
and she was a visual artist. Can you tell me exactly what it was that she actually did? Because I'm curious as to where your artistry kind of came from, the genealogy of it.
Oh wow, yeah. My mother, she turned to painting because she was a singer when she was younger, and she sang in jazz clubs. And she, that's what she kind of wanted to do. But that was like in the 50s, early 60s. And, she met my father and they got married, had kids. She did the whole thing, and she became like a housewife. So, she ended up taking art classes and things like that just for an outlet. And it was, I learned so much from her because of that, just, I mean, my father was a musician. Obviously, he was part of the Wrecking Crew. He did
Really?
Sessions and sessions and sessions, and I never saw the guy.
Wow!
No, I mean,
you mean Wrecking Crew, Memphis Wrecking Crew?
No,
LA Wrecking Crew,
okay. LA Wrecking Crew,
right? Yeah,
West Coast,
right?
Yeah. So, like from him, I learned the professionalism and like that kind of dedication. But from my mother, I learned a whole other kind of dedication, because she just needed to do it. She didn't do it for money. In fact, she had to work against the system, being a woman and a Latina woman. And, she struggled a lot in her life. And my parents advantaged me so much and supported me artistically. I can never express how grateful I am for that.
Well, I mean, you do it through your music, and I think your gratitude shows through, because your stuff is just masterful. I mean, I was re-listening to all the albums today. Matter of fact, broke out the vinyl and was just kind of just digging in and just you guys are just such an amazing crew, and it's just staggering to me for sure.
Well,
And
thank you.
before we bypass your father, he played, for those that don't know, a couple of notables that he actually was on the soundtrack for Hair, if I remember correctly. And also he was part of the Simon and Garfunkel's Bridge Over Troubled Water album as well. I know those two. Are there some other more significant ones that you can remember?
Oh my God. It's like
There's so
the
many,
list.
right?
Yeah, I'm serious. The list goes on and on and on. I mean, Motown, he took me a couple times to Jackson 5 sessions.
Wow.
And, I got to like sit in. I was a little kid, and he would just like sneak me in. And then, like one time Barry Gordy saw me sitting there and was like, who's that kid sitting there? But my dad came, that's my kid, she's okay. She didn't come in off the street or something because I probably looked all like
So now, is that how you got in? So, I mean, I'm curious because as far as let's talk about when you first started getting into music. Specifically, let's talk about maybe, let me see, let me pull this up. Let's talk about Waldorf Salad. Tell me a little bit about Waldorf Salad and just about this project in general.
Well, my brother, my sister, Wendy's brother, Jonathan, and our friend Deirdre, we're all friends, and we used to just jam and make a bunch of noise and do like Frank Zappa tapes and do like talking and music, and I don't know, it was like very Frank Zappa. It was weird. But one day Mike Melvoin, Wendy and Jonathan's dad, came down to the studio where we were playing, and he was more like, you guys sound like a bunch of chimpanzees. What are you doing down here? So he said, why don't you play some songs and, let me write some songs for you. And so he kind of like gathered us and like, here, I wrote a couple songs and learn this and let's, then he took us in the studio and we recorded these songs, and, it was actually pretty good for a bunch of kids.
Yeah, let's listen to 45 seconds of one. Hey, let's do that.
Oh my!
You gonna pay for?
Yes. A little taste of Waldorf.
Yes, I hear Todd Rundgren. I hear the Partridge Family. I'm into it. Yeah,
I know, with all the
Yeah, absolutely. I'm buying it.
It was so funny.
Oh my gosh.
It was a great experience, and I learned a lot just being in the studio and how it works, and it was a fantasy, but secretly we were still behind closed doors playing crazy Frank Zappa music, and, and wanting to do that. So it kind of fell apart. It didn't really go anywhere. But that's so funny that just comes up every once in a while.
Well, it's because
Wow.
the history attached to it with
It's because of you.
yeah.
Right?
One of the reasons, yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
So, there had to be something, I'd imagine, between Waldorf Salad and when Nikki Yorgler, who was the secretary for Steve Fargnoli, kind of brought you to the attention of Prince. What were you doing that Nikki knew about you? How did that all work as far as you being discovered by Prince?
Wow. Well, I always had bands with my brother, and he'd have his own band and I'd have my own band, and then we'd have a band together, and then it was just like music galore. And Nikki lived down the street, and and she was my best friend for a while, and um um God, I don't know. We played a couple of. I remember one time I played the piano at this bar called Ports here in LA, and a bunch of friends came to see me, and I I bought them all beers, and when I left, I owed the bar $62. Like I didn't even get paid. Everybody drank. It was on me.
Yeah. It's like the Blues Brothers.
But how you
They
do
drank
it,
more money than they made that night.
exactly.
Yeah, that happens every now and then. So then you find yourself, obviously, tell us about that first day that you met Prince, or the first time that you met him. I mean, did you know about him over in LA at this point? Because this is pretty early in his career. This is pre Dirty Mind where you showed up. But did you even know who he was?
No, I did. I had heard "I Want to Be Your Lover" on the radio, and honestly, I thought it was a girl or a girl group, or and I liked it a lot. I just never caught who it was, and then
I get that.
Nikki,
It could have been the Emotions or somebody. Now I'm thinking about
Right.
I mean, those background vocals and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it. Right.
yeah. I was putting two and two together and coming up with girl. So, but yeah, then when Nikki told me about this opportunity and gave me the record to listen to, I was like, there was that song, and it blew my mind. And I thought that there was some kind of strange, psychic connection, because that song had really hit me. And, I don't know, it was mysterious in a way, and so he flew me out and to Minneapolis, and he picked me up at the airport, and it was like, it was it wasn't good.
Different.
It was very uncomfortable. Yeah. It was like I was so shy, and he,
Yeah. Two
he's
shy people in a car at
little shy.
at MSP.
And-
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're like,
Yeah.
Oh
and
my.
I don't
So-
know.
Did you break the ice or did he break the ice? How did you break out of that?
Well, luckily, when we got to his house, he just pointed down the stairs, like there's a piano down there. So I went to the piano and I started playing. And I think I was pretty sure that he was listening. So I'm sure I played some, whatever was the hardest thing that I knew.
Rachmaninoff.
Right.
Right.
It kind of was. And,
All
so but he was on the phone already with, I don't know, Steve
Owen or
saying-
Steve? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, probably Steve Farnley at that time.
Right. Okay.
And he was saying, "Oh yeah, I don't think it's going to work out." She, ugh. And then he heard me playing, and then he was like, "Oh wait, never mind." And he came down the stairs and checked me out, and then he picked up a guitar, and then we just started playing, and that's where we hit it off, because it was we really
That's where you started to talk.
Yeah.
exactly.
That was the conversation. Yeah.
That's what we understood, and that's how we knew how to talk. So
Sure.
Yeah. Music
Yeah.
is his love language. I think it's all of your love languages. I mean, all of ours. It's just it's the reason, anyways, I'm very
Yeah.
excited to be able to kind of dig into this a little bit, because then I guess at some point in time you're brought in and Dirty Mind happens. Now, I know as far as Dirty Mind is concerned, I know you're featured on the back, but as far as credited, let's put it that way, as credited, you only did background vocals on the song Head. Was there any other involvement on this album, or did he pretty much bring you in? How did you even hear what he was doing on this album?
He was going back and forth to LA, and so I did Head the song in LA.
Of course.
And then in Minnesota, he had like his studio down in the basement, and it was like this little funky tiny room, and we did Party Up in there. So I was on Party Up as well. So
did you play and sing, or?
Yeah.
Awesome. I never knew that.
Yeah, I mean, because you're not this is part of this running thing that is where your contributions are all over these Prince albums, especially the albums where he has had the most success, and how much he leaned on you. And later on, as we kind of progress here with Wendy, is just unreal how much that your fingerprints are all over that music. And so, and the only thing you're credited with again on here is just background vocals on Head, but you're telling me that you've actually played on more tracks than
I mean
indicated.
During that time period, I mean, I played and sang on all of those records, and wrote for Vanity 6, and and he had this thing that he would make stuff up. Like I'd have to sign these contracts that said, okay, I'm going to credit you on, Oliver's House. I had nothing to do with Oliver's House. But he credited me on Oliver's House.
I've heard this often about like credits, and like it seemed to be random sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, even during my period with him, it's like, well, who had anything to do with that? There's no band members on that track, but he's crediting everybody. And then something we completely, were involved in, like a couple of us, but not the rest. I never understood what was really happening that way.
I know. Yeah. He would just make up things, and like with the time, I was credited as background vocals by various girlfriends, and I did a lot on that Time record.
So he reduced your role to being great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I've been there.
I was going to say another thing about Prince leaning on us. I don't know if he leaned on us. I think at that time we set off a spark, and he was really clear in his mind, and he knew how to utilize me. He saw in me what I could do, what my strengths were. And he championed that, and he, for better or worse sometimes. And I think that had a lot to do with it. It was his own clarity about what he was doing. And he was making this whole thing, and we just were there kind of like going, yeah, let's do it, instead of going, what? So he was like happy.
Yeah. It's that age-old maxim of like, you can accomplish anything in life as long as you don't concern yourself with who gets the credit. It's sort of that. Like, you build the track with them from the ground up, and then when it comes time to get your credit, there's none.
None.
Yeah.
None.
All right.
It's such
a shame. Consistent. I'll say that.
So you did the live performance on Saturday Night Live of Party Up, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So was that your first national television appearance, is playing keyboards in that scenario? Uh-oh. Okay. I'm waiting
gonna
now.
go with yes.
No. Oh, no, it wasn't. We got to know now.
Waldorf Salad
Hey, we're
was
on TV.
on the Merv Griffin show.
Oh man!
Oh my God!
If
Are
you
you
even
serious?
know what that is.
Oh yeah, the outro, the theme on the thank you everybody. The high trumpet. I remember that from my childhood.
I do too.
Yeah, with the trumpet.
You're right. Love Merv.
Yeah, he used to live right down the street from my grandmother, and every single time we would go to the store, we would be coming back from A&P, which is a grocery store up north, and we would coming back, and every single time that we would pull into her neighborhood, she goes, Merv Griffin lives down there. I said, Grandma, you say it every time we pass this road. Yes, I know Merv Griffin lives
just down the way. He's right. He's famous.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Exactly. So, since we're talking about some of your involvement, let's talk about controversy for a second. I'm really going to spend a little time on Prince because, again, I told you before when we were talking earlier before we did the show, I want to focus on you, but I know that Prince is a massive part of your history. What kind of involvement did you have on controversy? I know there was obviously a lot of shout outs and stuff and background vocals, but anything else of significance?
Wow, there was a lot.
According to Prince Vault, it said you did background vocals on Controversy, Ronnie Talked to Russia, and Jack You Off, and keyboards on Jack You Off also. So obviously there's that, but obviously as the discussion is going here, we're finding out that you had much more involvement in a lot of the construction of some of these songs.
Well,
yeah. So we put it out.
Well, yeah, a lot. A few people did.
I'm sure.
And I lived with him for a while. He took me in. I was a homeless girl, and so I lived with him. So, and he was always working. So I really lose track when I try to think about what I did on what, because he would just call me in, like, come downstairs, do this thing, or I can't reach that note. Can you play the second hand? And we'd be like 4 hands on a keyboard. And
yeah, you see Michael shaking his head over here. We've had this discussion before that I'll be like, what'd you do? And he was like, I did a lot. I don't even know what I did.
But the thing I have to my advantage as far as hearing what I was involved in is that I have a particular sound on the drums. With the keyboards, everybody's playing the same instrument. Even though your fingers might land in different places, the tone is kind of the same. I mean, the sound
exactly.
So but I know my drumming from Morris or Prince or Sheila.
Sure.
So it's easier for me to remember what I played on if I hear myself. Yeah. With you, I bet it'd be a little more complicated. Yeah.
Well, in the early records, later on, I could identify myself because I started playing
your voicing. You started stretching
clusters
out, right?
and things like that.
You started giving it to them, right? Exactly.
Yeah,
yes,
like, take that.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, you're right. It was like synthesizers with the presets, like just everybody sounded the same, really.
I heard that he used to like stack, like it's like 2 sounds, 1 part, like just to like people who are trying to like do what he was doing. Like he'd do little things like that. Okay.
Yeah, like you mix an organ with horns and, you just blend it. So it sounds like an organ, but it sounds like, what the fuck is that organ? It's like insane.
And then when they try to cover it, it's like, well, something is wrong. I can't
Something's not
out.
there,
yeah. That's because Prince wanted it to be difficult for you to figure it out.
Yeah.
And my goodness.
As far as synthesizers are concerned, I think that Prince was probably one of the first artists that I ever noticed where he would have that long sustaining note that would go like through an entire chorus or an entire verse. Man, it just sat there for a long time. And I think Prince was probably the first one that I noticed. I was just like, is that like a 44 hertz? What? It's like a certain type of tone or something that he's doing. It's kind of almost mesmerizing. did you have to do a lot of that where you just like hold a sustained note all the way through for a chorus, not like a chord, but like one sustained note?
I mean, a lot of his songs, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in
No,
there.
go
I was
ahead.
gonna say a lot of his songs have that, but I mean, it's like an harp string ensemble or something, you know, like Do Me Baby has got that, that F sharp is just kind of sustaining, but it does start moving around as the song goes on. I know what you're saying. It's a popular device. I just can't come up with any other records where people did that. But in the 70s, Stevie Wonder probably did that, you know.
Yeah, I think Prince was the first time I actually noticed it because it was so out front. It's kind of like Boston. The first time you hear Boston's album, and you're like, the guitar is like right there. And it was that was the first time that I had ever really, you know, heard it like that. What are some of this? Go ahead. No, so what are some?
That's the thing I like about Prince's records is really the synth work was always the most impressive to me. I don't know. I think 1999 is such a showcase for just keyboards, like just the keyboard arrangements, and Purple Rain also. It's just an extension of a really specific thing happening. I don't have enough technical knowledge to really understand what it is, but it's just so kind of lush and wide, but it's also pointy in places where it needs to be. I mean, it's just I was always trying to figure out, like, is he playing to the sound or is he programming a lot? You know?
It was mostly presets, but you know how they'd have like 2 or 3 I mean, some synths you could really edit the sounds, but a couple were just, you had a filter cut off and, you know, LFO, and maybe that's it. So we fully would use whatever was available, you know. So if it was a filter cut off, it was like, you know, always those kind of events. And, you know, Prince would always say, like, produce yourself. Like, you know,
and then I will take the credit at the end of it. Yeah,
I know.
Produce, but you won't get credit for doing it. It's all right. We're getting there together. Yes.
Right.
Well, and I think another important thing about not only the production, but another important thing from a personal note with 1999 is that it's also the first time that I remember seeing Wendy's name pop up, credited on background vocals for the song Free. And that was actually the first time that because the first time I think that anybody knew about her out in public was playing guitar, obviously on Purple Rain, but she was obviously a very, very good friend, a childhood friend of yours. And obviously it's such a, what is it like having your best friend playing in the band alongside of you all that time?
Great. It was great. And especially because she could play, you know, and I was proud of her. And yeah, the three of us, and no disrespect for the rest of the Revolution guys. Everyone was so incredible, and you know, really a good cast for a band. The way we all fit together and everybody's abilities, you know. But when Wendy came in, it really kind of like was the last piece of this puzzle. You know, I mean, having me in the band, it was like, oh, there's a girl in the band. But then having Wendy, another girl, and then it's a little bit more like, oh, well, maybe they're musicians.
Right.
You know?
Maybe it's like Sly and the Family Stone, like the women are actually playing instruments.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, but even though you still had that angle, you were still being marketed a certain way. Do you feel like that kind of took away from, you know, now there's a focus on your musicality, but now they're gonna divert that attention by making you you know, a couple with Jill Jones in 1999.
Yes,
obviously.
But before you answer that question, I also wanted to ask, first off, is it true that Prince just happened to catch you guys sort of touching each other in that iconic shot and was like, nobody move? and took that purple rain shot where you and Wendy are sort of not canoodling, but you're clearly being you're touching each other in a lovely way. And did Prince say that and see that and like, wait a minute? You know?
he did. He saw that, and then I
That
moved,
dude, man.
and then he came right back up to me. He literally took my hand and put it, where it is in the picture. It was like, don't move.
Okay.
And, yeah.
I was wondering if that was the truth. Okay.
It
Wow.
is kind of, yeah.
That's incredible that he had the foresight, that he can see so much in just a few seconds. I never understood how he was so clear in those moments. It happened all the time when I was there also. It was just like, how did you see that? Nobody was in the room. Yeah.
Well, he was already putting together the couple thing, because here, you're with Jill Jones, and so this was already something that he was crafting.
Yeah.
And I think when Jill obviously went to do her solo project, she wasn't a part of what happened after this. I guess Wendy kind of fit into that spot. I mean, is that how you kind of feel that was?
I think it got there, but I really didn't think of it that way until I saw like the Raspberry Beret video where you guys are kind of in the same shot all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
But that was when I was like, oh, okay. They're a real team. But before that, I guess I saw things, but I didn't really, that was the point. I don't know why, but it took me till then to go, I see. Like it's a thing, it's a real thing. I'm not imagining this. It's being actually advertised this way.
Yeah, projected that way. Did you see it when it was happening? Or to recognize it at least?
Yeah. The thing is that I was participating. It wasn't, it was something that was fun for me too, to be like, mysterious, what's going on there, and just, I mean, there was even one time when I was too androgynous and Prince came up to me and said, are you trying to entertain the boys or the girls? And I was like, oh,
Well, what's wrong with entertaining both is what I don't get.
That's what he was doing.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Look who's talking.
What's the problem?
He didn't like the competition. I'm the only switch in this. Right.
Right.
Yeah. You trying to be like me now?
Exactly. Right.
So then Wendy comes into the picture, and are you, it must be like just heaven for you, because this is somebody that you love dearly, and you're able to play this part out publicly. And so it must be, it's got to be some sort of solace and comfort for you to be able to just kind of be in that comfortable spot publicly.
I'm not sure about that, because what
let her answer.
Okay, but you have to let me know when I'm interrupting too much.
No, go ahead.
For about 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Saying almost anything.
Go ahead, Lisa.
I lost my train of thought.
Well,
as far as your comfort level with,
how comfortable? Because to me, I'm like, there is an exploitative aspect to letting your life be known in this respect, and I mean, for anybody, it has nothing to do with your orientation or how you feel about things. I'm saying it's your life. How do you feel about that being so out there? And I think there's a price for that.
Oh, there is. I mean,
Please.
if you, look, if you stake any claim, you're going to be challenged. If you just want to be blank, be blank. But we didn't want to be blank. We were fine.
Okay.
It got hard sometimes, and sometimes I didn't like it. Just plain old didn't like it. Like not today. But at the same time, like I said before, I was participating in this adventure and playing a part when, as we progressed over the years, it's like we started inventing these people, so I was like playing the part of Lisa, because there's a lot more to me. there's a lot more to Prince. That's why he had the time. That's why he had the Vanity Six. That's why he has all these side projects and writes for other people. That's why, there was more to him than what you saw. So, you just end up choosing the part to play and what to share and how much to share. And, and I was young and I was like kind of risky. I was fine with it.
Yeah, I bet. But I'm talking about like the dichotomy of playing that out in the public eye like that and being marketed like that. But I think I read in the Out interview that Wendy had kind of mentioned that, as far as in the real world, she really wasn't very hip on really kind of making that up, kind of speaking out about that much.
Yeah, Wendy felt a bit different than I did, definitely. Which is kind of funny because I feel like I'm the more private person, but and she's an extrovert, and but she felt a little more like wait, who has rights to this? It's kind of not. It's not cool,
Yeah, I got it. Understood. So I'm going to fast forward through Prince's stuff because again, I want to focus on you and Wendy. But let's close that chapter. We'll talk about Sign of the Times and your guys' involvement in a lot of the writing on that album and kind of not getting any credit or even a thank you for some of the work that you guys did. Can you kind of tell me about that day when that album got released and kind of seeing where everything was? And I guess if that involves talking about how you guys were let go, talk a little bit about that too.
Yeah, I remember when the album came out and we heard it, me and Wendy, and it was song after song, kind of mind blowing, and we were like looked at the credits and it just said a thank you for something, and it was like getting a photo album, of your ex. And like you're torn out of a lot of the photos.
Oh, that sucks.
It's like the songs were still there, and even some of our parts that we had put on were there, but a lot of it he took off, and he like redid his version of, like, we had this conga thing that we did, and he stripped it off and he did his own conga thing, but and it was, I don't know, I didn't want to be so affected by it. I felt like I understood him enough to not be too surprised. And like, of course he did that. And when he fired us, he said he wanted to do more by himself. He said, he let go of a lot and he became this entrepreneur. And really what he wanted to do was be a musician. And so he, went in the studio by himself again and did Sign of the Times. And it's pretty cool album. I mean,
oh yeah, it's amazing album for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of glad you guys did actually move on and do your own thing, because this right here is the jam. Let me just say, this is such an amazing album. So let's start here with your first talking about how you and Wendy put this album together and what your thought process is. Is there anything that you're thinking about when you're recording this? Like, we need to show them that we can do it on our own. Is it you have a lot to prove, I imagine, with this album?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, in a way we wanted to fully abandon, the Minneapolis sound, or, we weren't, that wasn't even a phrase, I don't feel like, in my life back then. It was like, but we couldn't stop thinking about him. It's like,
of course,
don't think about Prince. Okay, write a song. It was like, so a lot of it was fueled by, he's going to hear it. you know, and
Hmm.
he's a judgmental guy. And, I was like, oh no, he's going to, really tear it apart. So we did our best and we supported each other. And Bobby Z was
Oh yeah.
really in there with us.
Nice.
And so we had kind of group therapy. I mean, we would have some days where we were literally like, we couldn't understand what was happening. What is happening? But
Yeah.
okay, carry on. Let's just do this record and
And
see what happens.
carry on you did. Did he ever have any feedback with any of your releases? I mean, we know we're talking about the first album, but did he have any feedback at all? Did he reach out to you?
I'm not so much about the music, he would say like, you should be out there jumping off speakers and, have you seen Lita Ford? And, like comparing us to other performers that were like more rockin' and, like, rah! And, we weren't quite that rockin'. Sorry.
Yeah,
But
I
the
remember
music,
him. Sorry.
the music wasn't like that. Yeah, no, what?
I remember him saying one thing, which was like their debut video and Wendy's in a chair. Like,
Right.
I remember him saying he didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought we were boring.
Yeah, but look, you have to consider the source. So
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, to him, like, yeah. My piano was filled with water and,
Yeah.
it was all crazy looking. And,
I thought it was a hot look. I love that song.
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
But, yeah.
one of my all-time favorite albums, obviously. I love the first one, but this album right here is incredible. Fruit at the Bottom is such a monster album. There's obviously a very distinct difference in the sound and how you guys are recording. You're definitely more leaning into that Minneapolis sound and funk, whether it's intentional or not.
Mhm.
What was your thought process? And okay, we did this album, what was your thought process for recording that one?
Kind of, I don't know if we were really that concerned with Prince as much. And so it didn't matter if we kind of sounded more like we were from that. You know what I mean? Like we felt freer to use whatever. And when we first started making Fruit at the Bottom, the concept was like that the drums would be really little, just these small sound, so we were just going for it in terms of sonic things and, trying out, still using tape and, turning it over and doing backwards things or, having fun in the studio. And Prince actually responded to that album and he did that mix of Lolly Lolly, which was pretty cool.
Yes.
Look at you showing me things.
He likes to do that. He likes to show people stuff.
Is it more like this is what you should have done, or I appreciate the song, but I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. This is how I would have done it.
Well,
how did you?
That's how I took it. It was like, if you were this close. But when he likes something, he takes it.
So sometimes it's better if he just doesn't like what you're doing, so you can keep it for yourself.
Right. Yeah. That's happened a lot. It happened to Brown Mark. It happened to a variety of different people.
It happened to me and Sonny many times. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I don't know if you know this or not, but this is the 35th anniversary of this album this year. My all-time favorite, Eroica.
It's just one after another, man.
This was released in 1990. So it's the 35th anniversary of this unbelievable album. It's sonically, it is just, I mean, that photo says it all.
Oh yeah.
Sonically, it was just so big, especially songs like Why Wait for Heaven and how it just kind of just enveloped.
Yeah.
It was every single time that you guys stepped into the studio, you were like just kept expanding and kept on, pushing the envelope and going in different directions. And
Wow.
and where was your headspace in this? Because this album is fire. It's unbelievable.
Well, we had a great band at the time, and we were just really hitting it off and playing so well together that we were like, let's go in the studio and write. And Carla Azar on drums.
I was going to ask about Carla. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she played on the record?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. And she's actually on the first record. We met her way back when, and then she made it on Everything But You, maybe, on the first album.
Okay.
But yeah, and Chris Bruce on guitar. And yeah, he's great. He works with Michelle and all kinds of cool people. But yeah, we had this band that was so good, and we were playing a lot live, so we took it in the studio and wanted it to be more like have that live energy or bigness. And we owe a lot to Susan Rogers. She was the engineer and actually kind of the associate producer, which she should have been credited. My fault.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But at least you admit it, though. That's a difference. Though. There's a difference.
If I could go back, I would.
That is the difference. You guys were playing at the Town and Country Club. I remember we were in England, and you guys played at the Town and Country Club, and I didn't get to go, but a couple people did go, and they came back telling me about Carla the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's something else. Yeah, she was great to play with. Yeah, she does a lot of stuff now.
I think this is the only time that I saw you guys live was at the Cotton Club in Atlanta touring to support this album. And it was such a great show, really small, intimate venue. Seen a lot of fantastic groups there, including Lenny Kravitz's first tour, Let Love Rule, is just this little small club. So to be able to see you guys in that small environment with such a big sound, especially playing some of the tracks off of this, was just a monster. And you guys supported it so well on the road, and
thank you.
Just staggering. And then once again, you push the envelope again with this masterpiece, Girl Brothers. Such a freak. Yes, I have all of them except for I don't have the last one. I don't have because I had it and I let somebody borrow it, and of course now it's a collector's item.
Of course, yeah.
This one and that last album are very, very cinematic.
Yeah.
I feel like you added a lot, which kind of lends itself to your guys' work right now, currently with the TV and commercials and all the stuff that you're doing. So how do you cross the bridge going from that more, larger sound and kind of really focusing on being a little bit more atmospheric on some of these tracks?
Well, we went through a hard time, before we made that record, the Girl Brothers album. Wendy's brother died, and we found it really hard to play music after that for a while. There's several months went by where I couldn't, like, as soon as I'd feel a little bit of emotion, it was like all the emotion came out, and I was like, I couldn't go there for a while. But when we finally could go there and play and start writing, it was different. There was a lot on my mind and just a lot I wanted to say. And we worked we had made almost the entire album alone at home. And then Chad Blake was going to mix it. But when he heard it, he was like, let's do some things to it. Do you mind, if I transfer it onto 24 track? And because we were working on a little tape thing, Tascam thing.
Mhm.
And so he transferred all the stuff and we added a few parts and he added his kind of touch. And
Man.
that was that. I mean, we also, it was kind of a dark time. And Chad had lost his wife and we had lost Jonathan. And so we kind of like had a little bit of a dark soup around us the whole time, you know. And so we tried to express it on the album and, kind of bring it to life. And we kind of did.
We got a couple questions from the audience, if you don't mind. I've been trying to star them and put them in, but since we're talking about this particular topic, Sue Kakashi says, did these difficult times also strain your and Wendy's relationship during that period of time? That may be a too personal a question, I don't know, but do you feel like some of the stuff actually got root
No,
into your relationships? No? Brought you
no. If
closer, maybe?
anything, it was the opposite. It was more like, rededicating, to life and each other. And when you lose somebody, that was the first time we had, lost someone that close. And it really changes you. It just stays with you. You never get over it. You learn to live with it, but you're forever, and then I lost my brother. And I'm always 50-50 kind of. I'm sad and happy all at the same time because I've lost these people that were so much a part of me. And and they were so talented, It's just, I don't know. It's a crazy story.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Let me get to some other questions here. There was some one from Franklin Rush. I've heard a few questions regarding this song. Please ask Lisa, was a song about Prince and what Prince thought about the song?
Yes, it was about Prince. And I don't know what he thought about it. He never said anything. That was the most obvious. We're writing a song about Prince. That's why we called it Song About. Guess what? And he never said anything.
To me, that's fitting though. Like it would be too exposing a situation for him to actually make a comment on it. Like,
Yeah.
I think he'd rather act like nope, never heard it.
Yeah.
That's how I always found him. Was like
exactly.
he didn't want people to know that he was, like, don't try to get into what I'm thinking. You have no idea.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's true.
Well, there's a follow-up question from Lady Cab Driver says, did you write any songs for Prince's memory after he passed?
Oh, wow. Instrumentally, I haven't written anything lyrically to do with him, but on Collage, one of the improvs, the 777 was kind of about him. And it's an improvisation, but it was him on my mind. And
is there a 777A? I seem to remember there being a 777A on this album.
Yeah.
What's the difference between, first off, if anyone here has not heard this album Collage, that this was released last year, correct?
Yeah.
It is incredible. It is such a great work album to have playing in the background, such beautiful melodies, and just it's an incredible album. What is the significance between 777 and 777A? And there's also a 77 song, I think, as well.
Yeah. Well, because my mother died as well. And so the other sevens are to do with her. It's it's just sevens, they're and not just lucky seven, but a very spiritual number, and also with the dates of like April 21st is a 7 sort of, so things like that. I just, in my mind, when I did these improvs, I sort of had this logic in my mind. Sometimes when you play, you have this whole other logic about the world. And I just wrote it down as I was thinking it. And it just was so meaningful to me. So it's kind of hard to explain. It's just a little abstract, but it made sense to me.
Now, didn't you also, was the last time you played with Prince on 7/7/2007? Weren't you guys at that 7/7/7 show?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's
okay.
weird.
I think that's the last time I remember you guys playing, because I think I remember seeing something where he had said something to you like on the mic or something, that these are my best friends. And I think before that, or previous to that, you guys had a pretty strained relationship. So it was kind of like out of the blue, that comment.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's right. Man, I forgot about that. How could I forget about that? That's great. So maybe that was in my subconscious. The sevens came spilling out.
Go ahead, Michael. I know you've been holding on.
Hey, listen,
I know. It's good
I
stuff.
know what these people are thinking out there.
Oh, I know. I know.
Go ahead. Let her
Go
talk.
ahead.
So I cooled it. I backed up a little bit, but I just wanted to. My understanding is actually somebody's asking over here about April 21st. I think what I've been told is that you guys recorded Sometimes It Snows in April on April 21st, 1985.
Yeah, that's correct.
And that he passed also on April 21st, but in 2016.
Yeah.
And that kind of freaks me out. But you were actually involved in the process. So it's like, have you had time to ruminate about that? Or is it just nothing you don't really think about it? Or never really considered
when I can't remember who actually called that to my attention. Somebody's discovered it. It might have been like Dwayne Tudor, one of those guys.
I see.
Yeah, because I wasn't really aware of that, and when they told me that, it gave me chills.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because
that's crazy to me too. Yeah.
That day that we recorded the song, and it was just the three of us, and it was so like, I don't know, there was like a communication that happened that was a little unusual. He was asking a little bit more of us, which was a little unusual, I found. Like, especially at that time, he was kind of a little more, demanding or something, but he kind of freed it up, and it's like, come on, I need Lisa on this. Give me a Lisa note, give me a Lisa chord, and it was just a beautiful day of that. And the song came out great. And yeah, it's pretty amazing that he would pass on the same day. It makes
like
you wonder
Mark
about
Twain with the Mark Twain with the comet. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, right.
Wasn't he born when the comet came, and he said, "I'll leave when the comet comes back," and that's what happened.
And he did. It's crazy.
It's not, well, and technically, Collage is your first solo album, but I'm curious. I've been trying to find this because
wow,
you had done film music for I guess this movie ever come out called Valentino's Ghost? Can you tell us a little bit about this album?
Yeah. I'm not sure if the film came out or not. But it was a score I really enjoyed doing. Michael Singh was the director, and just me and my buddy Josh, the engineer, did the score. And yeah, I like some of those cues a lot. Valentino's Ghost was kind of controversial film about Arabs and the perception, kind of like about Islamophobia. And it's an interesting film. I think it may have come out. It was a documentary sort of. It wasn't really a story.
So it wasn't about kissing him near a crystal blue Italian stream. This was very different.
Very different. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is that, so many of these things I stumble on and just like, man, I would love to be able to hear that. And I think that soundtrack never got released. So I assume that the film didn't either, but it would have been amazing to be able to hear some of this stuff, because I don't think you recognize, or maybe you do, the flow that you have when you're playing piano, and just the vibe that you create is just, I do recognize it, or can you identify it when it's happening, when it's flowing out of you? Is it obvious to you?
Yeah, I think sometimes as a player, you definitely have days where you're like, oh, it's coming, it's on, and you have other days where you have to think more about what you're playing, and use your knowledge and your experience, and that comes into play. But then when you get to the flow state, you can stop thinking and just like start listening. And that's when I know, I'm in for a treat.
Did you always have the inner discipline, or was it something you had to develop?
I started taking like classical lessons as a small kid, and I wanted to. I wanted to exercise. My hands, and I felt like that my hands were the athletes, and I had to train them so that they can just forget and just fly. So that's what I tried to do growing up.
I need to commandeer this interview for the last.
Sure.
I don't know how long she'll stay, and I have things that I've been thinking about for years, and I need to kind of address. Your timekeeping is immaculate. Even when you play by yourself, you are even unto yourself. Like, you know what I mean? All stellar players are like that. And I wonder, like, how did you have to develop a different sense for the pocket once you joined once you joined Prince's band? Were you already into funk and kind of had the sense for like what that thing is? Because it's sort of a colloquial thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like you guys had it out west, like Sly and the Family Stone and whatnot. You had it, but like how much of an influence did you get from that?
Probably a lot, and I was totally unaware of it. And when I was about 15 or something, my next door neighbor, he was a guitar player, and he came over one day and said, "Will you join my funk band?" And I was like, "No." Like, funk band? What? And he was like, "You're so funky." And it was just, I didn't know that. It was just the way I played when I just doodled, kind of thing. And so it wasn't until he said that, Andy Rosen, that I was like, oh, maybe I could play funk.
But you were already doing it. That's why he wanted you. That's what I'm saying. It's like you had it. I'm like, where did you get it?
Well, my father's a percussionist, so.
Oh, right.
I grew up on 2 and 4.
So if nothing else, you got time. That's great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll let you have it back there, Mr. Chris.
No, I love listening to it, because
wait a minute,
our focus. We do have some questions here from the audience. So let's go back and forth.
Okay, if you want to, but I do have a couple more for Lisa. So let us know if you want to leave, because I got to squeeze these in, Lisa. We don't want you to go, but I don't want to miss my opportunity to ask you some things.
I know.
Go
I
ahead,
can
Lisa.
give you a few more minutes.
Okay, so let's just ask this one question, then Michael, you can finish with your questions here. Actually, go ahead, Michael. Go ahead and get your couple questions, and then we'll close.
I mean,
with
my main question is very simple. Like, did Bill Evans have any influence on your playing?
Yes.
That's what I hear when I hear you playing. I hear this very special choice in harmony, and
Wow.
it's. I mean, you have a very specific thing happening, and the only thing I can think of that seems to come to mind when I hear you is Bill Evans, like
Wow.
Blue and Green, like you know what I mean, like that comes so profoundly over to me when I hear you play piano, and so I just wondered if maybe you got it around the way, or did you actually did Bill Evans have an actual influence?
And who were your influences?
He was. Bill Evans was like probably my favorite as a teenager.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I just fell in love with him. And yeah.
Just going by what I hear.
Yeah, I see.
And feel.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. You busted me. That's it. Bill Evans.
In the best possible way. You're busted.
Yeah. No, I'm totally flattered. Like I'm not going to say anything because I'm just going to take it. Thank you.
Everyone here at this moment is enchanted with you and everything that you've done, and completely enamored by just your smile and the way you laugh. So I don't know if I'll ever get to speak to you again. So I had to get these things off my chest.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's important.
I'm good.
Important for you to know that, and I anybody that has been watching this show for years will tell you that you are one of the guests that I have been hoping to get on this show for many, many years, because you rightfully deserve to have your flowers, because you are such a phenomenal artist.
Oh, yes.
Your fingerprints are all over Prince's work, no pun intended. And you can tell the difference of the contributions as you separate out the Wendy and Lisa stuff, and your songwriting is phenomenal. Your collaborations with Wendy are just magical. And so I wanted to make sure that we got that in, because we really wanted to come and celebrate you here today. That is for sure.
I'm so lucky, and thank you. I'm totally flattered, and you guys have been blowing up my head an hour now, and I'm like,
all right, we got one more closing question, which seems appropriate, which seems like a good one, which from Charlotte says, "Hey, Mr. Christopher, I have a question for Lisa. What would be your advice to young artists like me who are just starting out in the music business, and do you have songwriting tips?"
Yeah, really try to be as honest. Like, if you're singing, don't worry if you're like a bad singer. Just be real, be honest about what you're saying. And when you get stuck writing songs, like sometimes, a fun musical thing to do is like sit on one note and then play all the chords around that one note that you think belong with that note. And then all of a sudden you're like going, la, 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 and it sounds different on every chord. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I have an idea. So that's what I do.
That is an awesome song tip. That's fantastic. So, I mean, yeah, unreal. I know that you're going to be on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What are you doing on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I'm playing with Cyndi Lauper.
Whoa!
Nice.
Look at her face in the shot. You're being fierce.
That's incredible. Oh man, that is incredible. We cannot wait to see you there. And of course, if you guys missed the beginning of the interview, don't worry. You can tune in tomorrow. You can listen on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Odyssey, all the places that you listen to podcasts and whatnot. And also, we are so looking forward to this collaboration with yourself and Wendy and Annie Lennox. Oh my God.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And they're in the studio right now doing the mastering process and whatnot. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot thank you enough. I really can't.
Yeah, sorry for kind of trampling you early on. We had to figure out, we didn't talk about what we were really going to
This show has been coming for years. Yeah, this show has been coming for years. This is
We talk over each other a lot, and we ended up talking over you a little bit in the front. I'm just apologizing.
Yes,
we're still figuring this out, and we're very excited to have you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the one, the only Lisa Coleman.
Without question. Right. It's almost Devo or something. Devo choreography.
All right, Lisa,
thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll let you get back to the studio. Please let us know when that album's ready. We'll be happy to promote it for you.
Without question.
Okay, good deal.
All right, thank you, Lisa.
Bye.
Bye. Bye now.
Bye now.